Hello, hello, hello! I'm Ted Crow, and I am the Barefoot Craftsman.
The Barefoot Craftsman. My stuff.
This time on the Barefoot Craftsman, we're going to do the coin toss to find out whether we're going to build a swinging bench or some bar stools. So we're going to go out to the garage, and now the phone rings. Hear it? Phone calls are good, and now that that's taken care of, let's go back out to the shop and see what's going on.
Hi, I'm Sophia Crow, and I'm the Barefoot Craftsman's wife.
Let's get to it, where me, myself, and I will do the coin toss.
I'd like to say that I'm very afraid of the three of them together and what might happen.
I am me, and I will be the referee here in this coin toss. I have with me one American half-dollar coin.
And I have to say now that I've, thought further, and there's going to be a foursome tonight, and that works just fine for me.
One side is the heads, which will represent the bench. On the other side is tails, which will represent the bar stools.
Not only is he a rugged creator of wooden things, he cooks too.
Do you, I, accept the terms of this coin toss? Yeah, I guess.
Okay, like in the foursome, I'm keeping my distance from that guy. Yeah, definitely that one.
No, you don't guess. You either know or you don't know. It's either a yes or no. Okay then, I do. I accept. Do you, myself, accept the terms of this coin toss? Sure, I do. Man, this is interesting. Okay then, the toss. Tails it is. Myself, do you acknowledge that it is tails? Yes, I acknowledge. I acknowledge that it is tails. Do you acknowledge that it is tails? Yeah, sure, I do.
Yeah, definitely that one.
I see it, it's tails. Seeing how both parties, myself and I, acknowledge that it is tails, then the bar stools will be the first project that will be done. Do you understand that you are now implicated in the cause of building a bar stool? Yeah, I do. I guess we'll get to it. Let the work commence. Now, wasn't that something?
And yay! I get my stools! My stools, my stools, my stools.
Alright, well, the first thing I always do when I have no idea what the hell I'm building, well, I do have an idea of what I'm building, it's a bar stool, is I usually try to make a sketch so I get an idea of what I need. And today, I'm making a bar stool, so I've got I'm over here at my easel, and I've got some basic sketches here on a scrap piece of paper that I worked out yesterday. And what I got is I got my basic chair shape here. Here's kind of looking at the front, here's kind of looking at the side and the top. And over here, what I've got is this is the part of the chair that is that's where everything's happening. It's the to-do part. And these pieces, or this little rectangle box here, 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 all the way across here. They represent slats that I'm going to put on the seat of the chair. And I've got a side rail here. And the reason why I've got a lot of things going on here is if you look at this part right here, this is the side. Basically what I want is I want this seat part of the chair to flip up this way, and the front legs, these right here, I want them to fold up this way, so that this stool that's going on our bench, or our this stool that's going at the bar.
Oh God. Okay, so though he's talking like it, we do not have a giant bench house, nor do we operate an illegal bar in our house. These stools are being created for nothing more than breakfast. At our high counter in our kitchen. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a bar stool that folds up flat so that I can put it in a closet or slide it under a bed or something like that. So this thing will fold up flat. So it'll end up being flat. Flat. Okay, so that was a lovely demo of his ability to demonstrate the concept flat.
Flat. Flat. Flat. Flat. And the way that's going to happen again is the seat part will swing up this way, and these legs will swing up that way, and the seat will have to be hinged here, and there'll have to be some screws.
He said screws.
Or I mean bolts.
Screws.
Here and here, and also here and here, so that I can fold this thing up. And of course there'll need to be some stops, so that's what this area is. I'm going to cut a notch in this side rail here and run a piece of wood from this leg to the leg behind that, and it should fold down and be stationary then.
Stationary is a lovely word, but let us hope they do not turn into giant pieces of paper.
So there's my sketches.
Okay, so that drawing of a chair kind of looks like a torture device.
I worked out what my wood is and my hardware, and looks like I need about 4 2x4s and an assortment of...
Assortment! He is using big words today. Doing the designing brings out the best in him, in his ability to communicate like a human.
5/16 inch diameter nuts, bolts, washers, and sleeve bushings, or you can actually use a spacer. So I actually went the cheap route and bought a spacer, and let's get to it. During the design process of figuring out how I wanted to make this bench,
Stool.
I measured the counter at which these benches
Stool.
are going to sit, and I determined that they need to be approximately 28 inches off the floor to the seat. Now, the back of this thing has to be, the back of the bench has to be, or the back of the stool. Why do I keep calling this thing a bench?
My stools, my stools.
What the hell's wrong with me? It's a stool.
My stools, my stools.
It's a folding stool for the bar.
nor do we operate an illegal bar.
It's a folding stool for at the kitchen high counter.
My stools, my stools.
It's a folding stool. It's a stool, not to be confused with poopy.
Not to be confused with poopy.
Oh yeah, I'm not supposed to say that anymore. Poopy.
Another fine sentence brought to you by the Barefoot Craftsman.
Poopy, 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 poopy.
Okay, now he's doing the poopy dance. Dude, you suck.
Anyway, I got a couple of 2x4s here, and I need them to be 44 inches. This is for the back two legs of the stool. And what I did was I took a look at them and found out where the knots were on these particular 2x4s, because I don't want knots in my legs. I don't want to have a whole lot of knots in my legs because they get all crampy. No, I mean, in the bar stool, don't put any knots in your legs. If you can avoid it, keep the knots out of your legs. Knots. Did you know a knot is formed from a branch coming out of the tree?
Okay, so I didn't know that about the knots.
Well, anyway, 44 inches, and I've inspected these for knots and decided that I want these two, so I'm just going to measure them off and then cut them. Poke myself in the eye.
Oh, he poked himself in the eye. This is an auspicious beginning, and my prediction is that the stools will turn out very well.
Now to cut these, you don't really need to be too
Specific, I think he wanted to say.
you don't need to be real precise about it. So I'm just going to use a power handsaw. Just going to use a power circular saw and chop them off.
Yeah, show the kickback. Show it over and over and over.
Good thing they don't need to be good with the cut. Had a little kickback there. And that happens. That happens when you're put your wood wrong. And what I did wrong there, I should have the wood extending over with one piece ready to drop off and the other piece laying intact on the benches. Okay, I got my two pieces, 44. They are the rear legs. Now I got to think about what I'm going to do next.
Okay.
Alright, if you're wondering why I'm sitting here on the floor, it's because I'm tired. No, I'm not really tired. I want to show you how I determined where I wanted the seat to be, how high off the floor. What I did was I measured from the floor to the top of the counter. And then I measured from my ass sitting on the floor to where about I wanted the counter to be.
Good Lord. This is more Appalachia measuring now, and he's using his ass.
So I'm thinking it would be nice if the counter was right about here.
His ass.
I think that would be right about right. And that is
Assolation measuring. Assolation measuring.
about 17 inches from my ass.
His ass.
Or the floor.
His ass.
The bottom of my ass bottom to the top of the counter.
I'm confused.
My ass bottom to the top of the counter. So with that 17 inches known, what I can do is I can subtract what it is from the floor to the top of the counter and then back down to where I want my ass to be.
His ass. I'm confused.
So 44 minus 17. Okay, the next two pieces I'm going to cut are the top side pieces that will be hinged. Well, they're not hinged. The top two side pieces that will get a bolt through them. They need to be 16 inches long.
So why 16 inches? What foul body part did he use to determine that?
So again, I'm going to inspect the piece of wood for knots because I don't want a knot ending up right where I want my bolt. And looks like we can use this piece. Set my blade.
Okay, so there's wood chips flying everywhere and no goggles.
Okay, now those two pieces are cut.
So we had asses and poopy and no safety goggles. Just another day in the shop. Stop back next time when we continue work on the bar stools. Until then, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Oscillation measuring. Oscillation measuring.